Hey everybody, Drew here over at Rev Hiker Outdoors, and excuse me, I wanted to bring you a video today on some shelter options. This is kind of something that is pretty personal to people. A lot of people argue about it, what you should do. They argue for the comforts of a tent over the the lightweight of a tarp. So I just want to go through some things that I've gone through and tell you the pros and cons and if I still use them and that kind of thing. So I'll actually start today with the very heaviest, which this is something I would not carry anymore unless there was 3 people and we could split the weight up and it was the dead of winter and I knew I was going to get a ton of snow. This is a tent that I purchased that is a great tent. I can't say enough good things about this. It's a Sierra Designs Alpha, and it's the 3-person. It's a 3-4 season convertible. So you can use it for 3 season, or you can use it for 4 season with the addition of a pole. Anyway, got a great big vestibule on it. I've cooked in there. The thing is absolutely bomb-proof. When you have this thing guyed out the way, with all the guy outs and everything, you can put this in like 60 miles an hour wind, no big deal. It'll stand, like 2 feet of snow on the top. It's really strong, good, durable tent. I have used it several times in the winter, and it was great. That was, however, with another guy that I split the weight with, and we were still doing like traditional style backpacking at that point. So from a traditional backpacking standpoint, this is like somewhat acceptable for a 3-person 4-season tent. 4 seasons are usually a little heavier. This one is tipping the scales at a little over 9 pounds, which is absolutely blows my mind that I used to carry this by myself at times. I would slam this thing right in my pack and it would be along with, another 45 pounds of gear in addition to this. I look back at kind of the journey from traditional backpacking to where I am now, and I just can't believe some of the stuff I did. But that being said, this is a great shelter. And if I was going to stay somewhere extended and just operate out of a base camp in the winter, this is probably something, if the hike in wasn't too far, that I would actually still consider taking if it was that style hike where I was returning home every night for, say, a week or so, because you just can't beat this thing. It's absolutely bomb-proof, tons of comfort, all kinds of organization inside. I've kept it for that reason. I haven't sold it. That being said, this thing is just massive. It's almost the same size as the pack I carry now. So I love this thing, but I just can't see carrying it anymore. So anyway, that's the first option. As I progressed, and unfortunately for me, it wasn't long after I bought this that I started wanting to go ultralight. So I say unfortunate. It's good that I went ultralight, but not so good that I spent a huge amount of money on this thing, and that's one of the other downsides. When this thing first came out, it was retailing for around $600. I got it on clearance and yada yada yada. New models had come out, so I got a much better price on it. I think I paid like $375 or something like that, but still a large investment, but an excellent piece of gear that I still use to set up in the backyard so my kids can go camping and have a little fun. So anyway, I like the tent. It'll still get some use, and that's why I haven't gotten rid of it. So shortly after this, though, only a year or 2 later, I started wanting to go ultralight. So I bought another tent. And as it is normally when someone goes ultralight, it's a process. You don't start out traditional and then one day throw out all your gear and go to a 5-pound pack. It just doesn't happen that way. So I bought, this is the Eureka Solitaire. It's yellow and black, no real vestibule, but still a pretty decent tent. There's it's not great. It's got fiberglass poles, so they are prone to breaking. I haven't had one break, but I know there have been problems with them breaking. This has been a good tent for me. For a single person tent, at the time, it was pretty lightweight. And this is under $100. You can pick these up still now for like under $90, $80, something like that. So a pretty affordable option and pretty lightweight. I think it was 2 pounds, 10 ounces or something in that neighborhood. So, you know, still not light at all compared to where I'm at now, but you know, for when I was going lightweight and not ultralight, this was a great thing. You know, somewhat tight corners, and it wasn't freestanding. You had to stake it out, but still a good option. And if you're kind of in that category where you really are not ready to commit to a tarp, but you don't want to spend a ton of money on an ultralight tent, this is a really good option. Like I said, $89 at stores all day, and I'm sure on Amazon, if you're willing to go that route, that you could have it cheaper. But good tent. Really have had no complaints about it. It performs well. The rain fly is adequate. Downsides, no vestibule, and it's not freestanding. So, you know, if it's like pouring out and you're trying to get into your tent, probably gonna get some rain in there. Not terrible, but, you know, it is kind of a pain. On the upside, you can take the rain fly off, and the whole top is just mesh. So on nice nights, you can just watch the stars and stay out of the bugs. So definitely still a viable option. You know, if you're going lightweight but not super ultralight. So anyway, that's that. After that, I started to move into the area of tarps. The very first tarp I bought to try to go backpacking with was a $10 special at Walmart, which I have shown in some of my other videos, and it was a 5x7. You know, it was just a nylon tarp, you know, PU coated. So it was good. It was much lighter than my Eureka Solitaire, but the 5x7 just really didn't have enough coverage for me, for my personal liking. I have spent some nights in the dirt with it, and you know, it was okay, but as I've said in other videos, where I go hiking and backpacking and stuff a lot, the weather is very subject to change quickly. So it can be beautiful, and they can say it's going to be beautiful on the forecast, but you know, more often than not, you're going to get a surprise rain shower, and it's going to be a little more than a shower. It's going to come down hard, and it's usually windy, especially if you're camping at a little higher elevations. In the Adirondacks, that's just how it is. I've had, almost every single time I've gone out, I get rain from there more than one night. So I like to have extra coverage from the rain. I don't like getting wet. I don't like being rained on when I'm trying to sleep. It's just like miserable. So I got that tarp. It wasn't really enough for me, so I didn't really use that hardly at all. What I have done since then is I went out and bought this Sea to Summit tarp poncho, which I have showed in many other videos. Still really like this thing, and I still use it. Again, it is a little tight as far as space goes. You know, the width is really okay, but it's the length. I like to have extra length. But again, it's still really good, dual purpose, so you save a lot of weight. You know, now you're talking ounces, not pounds. So it's really nice when you start going light like this. The first couple times you do it, it's going to feel a little weird, especially if you've been backpacking for a long time. When you switch from like a tent to a tarp, it is a big transition. At least it was for me. You know, there was nights that I had slept out under the stars and stuff, but you know, it's a lot different than a tent. So you just have to be prepared for that. There are a lot of different things about it. There's not, you know, you don't have some of the same options. You don't have near as much blocking from the wind. And you know, you have to make sure you bring a ground cloth along with this, unless you're just going to go straight out on the ground. But like I said, if it's raining and the water's running, I don't want to be right on the ground. And I don't want my sleeping pad getting soaked. I don't want all my gear getting soaked. So I bring a ground sheet, and I treat everything with waterproofer. So after that, I started getting into hammock camping. And this thing was like just really tight on space with the hammock the way I was originally setting it up. So again, I said, well, I need a new option, and I made my own. Made this out of a painter's drop cloth. It's 2 mil plastic. It is huge compared to this. This thing is about 9 feet by 11 feet, so it's got massive amounts of coverage comparatively, and you know, it's got its ups and downs. It is heavier because I had to duct tape all the edges and the corners and the guy outs and make all that stuff, and it requires more cordage to set up. It is definitely heavier, not by a ton, but it's noticeable in your hand. And it has a lot more coverage, so that's the trade-off that you guys have to think about. Some of the other things, it's definitely not as durable. I poked a hole in this thing the first time I set it up, so you know, you have to weigh that stuff out. This sil nylon is definitely going to be a lot more durable than 2 mil plastic drop cloth. So what I've done is I've tried pitching this several different ways on my my hammock, and figuring out different things and how to stake it out and guide out, and I've pretty much figured that I can get by with this, unless I know the weather's really going to be bad and I need the extra room, then I'll go with this. So anyway, I wanted to just give you guys some options and kind of show you where I've come from and kind of where I'm at now, so that maybe you're still the person that's camping with this bad boy, and you're happy with your 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pound tent. It's great. I love this thing. It's the Cadillac of tents, but to be honest, I value the comfort that I get from going with a tarp over the comforts of having this. So I just want to let you know that for not investing a whole lot, you can try out other options and see maybe, wow, you know, I went down to something like this, which is about half a pound, and I really noticed that big difference. And you know, my pack was smaller, wasn't as heavy, my feet didn't hurt, my knees didn't hurt, my shoulders didn't hurt. You know, I guess the one thing I miss about traditional backpacking is when you get to the end and you get to the camp where you're going to dump all your pack and do your you know, set up your base camp. I miss that feeling of taking off my 55-pound pack and feeling like I was floating for the next 7 or 8 minutes. And being sarcastic, of course, but I feel like I'm floating now, and the whole time I'm on the trail. So anyway, I just wanted to show you some options, show you my progression, and maybe help you out on your journey. If you're here, you know, maybe you're not quite ready to commit to a tarp, but you can definitely do something like this. So anyway, just trying to help you guys, showing you different ways that really don't cost a ton to go lighter when you're hiking, so you can enjoy more and go farther and go faster. So anyway, I hope this helped you guys. I do have reviews on some of this other stuff. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description for this and this. I have done reviews on these, and I have not done reviews on these. Maybe I'll get to these in the future. But anyway, thanks to all my subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, I hope that you thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching. So I just kind of plant this right where I want it. There we go.